Aloha and good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. The search continues today for a gunman in a horrific Christmas morning shooting.
Yeah, a 22-year-old man was shot and killed while sitting in a car early yesterday morning. Police are searching for any clues into who could have done it.
It happened at about 4 a.m. near the Pu'uvai Momi housing complex. Police say the shooter walked up to the vehicle and opened fire before running away on foot. The man wounded was taken to the hospital and later pronounced dead.
Detectives are working diligently to interview witnesses, gather and review surveillance video, and recover evidence. Yes, the vehicle is towed to the main station and will be processed. So I can't answer how many numbers of gunshots there is in the vehicle because that hasn't been done yet.
The suspect is said to be in his 20s, standing about 5'5" to 5'8", with a slim build. His identity has not yet been made public. If you have any tips, please call Honolulu Police. And on Hawaii Island, police are also searching for a gunman there after a man was shot in Upper Puna. The victim was found unconscious Saturday afternoon on his driveway on Koloa Maoli Road. Witnesses told police he had approached a car that had drove up the driveway when he was shot. The victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Anyone with tips should call Crime Stoppers. Their number there is 808-961-8300.
A shocking incident in Kahala this weekend after a newborn baby girl was left in a trash bin. A resident says he heard a woman screaming late Saturday night on Waialae Avenue. He says he saw her give birth, then allegedly dispose of the baby and walk away. The man then ran out and got the baby girl out of the trash bin. She was taken to Kapi'olani Medical Center.
Hearing about it, it's heartbreaking, really, just knowing that, that's a helpless little one, but I'm glad somebody found the baby and hopefully it's getting all the care and love it needs right now.
Police have opened a child abandonment case. It's unclear if authorities have found the mother. U.S. forces carried out airstrikes in Iraq overnight, hitting Iranian-backed militant groups. Nicole Skenga has more from Washington, D.C.
U.S. forces carried out airstrikes on a militant group based in Iraq. The strikes early Tuesday targeted 3 sites controlled by Kataib Hezbollah, a group backed by Iran. President Biden ordered the strikes, believed to have killed a number of militant fighters. The move was in retaliation for a drone attack on an airbase used by U.S. troops near the city of Erbil. That attack wounded 3 Americans, one of them critically. The Iraqi government condemned the U.S. airstrikes, calling it a hostile act, but the Biden administration says it will do what it takes to protect U.S. personnel based in the region. The Pentagon says militant groups have carried out more than 100 attacks on U.S. forces in Syria and Iraq since Hamas attacked Israel October 7th. The U.S. continues to support Israel in its war against Hamas. Nicole Skenga, CBS News, the White House.
Israeli forces continued to strike Palestinian refugee camps in central Gaza and issued new orders telling residents to evacuate today. That is a sign that the military plans to expand their ground offensive into the besieged enclave. NBC's Jay Gray reports from Tel Aviv.
Well, it is day 81 of the war in Gaza today. We're hearing from the Israeli chief of staff for the army who says the war is, quote, expected to continue for many more months. Intense fighting on the ground focused on identifying and destroying tunnels across the region. Airstrikes continue as well, targeting Hamas command and control centers, according to the IDF. We know that at least 70 people have died, according to the Hamas-run Palestinian Ministry of Health in Gaza. They say that happened at Al-Maghazi, a refugee camp where many of those displaced by the fighting have come to seek shelter. The UN says that Israeli bombing has led to more than 100 deaths in the region just since Christmas. The U.S. has been pushing Israel to back off a bit, with the number of those killed in this war growing significantly over the last week or so. But Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu here in Israel has said that they will continue to press forward. And in fact, the fighting has intensified both from the air and on the ground. That's the latest from here in Tel Aviv. I'm Jay Gray, Now back to you.
And all the unrest in the Middle East is leading to heightened security across the nation, especially with New Year's Eve celebrations on the horizon. NBC's Stephanie Gosk is standing where many eyes will be on Sunday night in Times Square in New York City.
Hey there, for weeks now there have been protests over the war in Gaza nationwide, and the Christmas weekend was no exception for that. Here in Midtown, there were some scuffles with some pro-Palestinian demonstrators, scuffles with police that led to 6 arrests, but no injuries were told by the NYPD. There were also demonstrations over the weekend in Chicago disrupting last-minute shopping, as well as people trying to get to the airports or to get out of town. There has been a bulletin by the Department of Homeland Security and FBI to law enforcement across the country telling them to be on the lookout for so-called lone wolf attacks. They say that there could be a heightened level of threat from that kind of attack over the New Year's Eve holiday. In places like New York City and D.C. and Chicago, there will obviously be large groups of people celebrating on New Year's Eve. They're asking not just law enforcement, but the public to be on the lookout for anything suspicious. Back to you.
Oh my God!
Get out! Hey!
The federal law. He's so stupid. Get away from
Hey,
me.
get out!
Come outside the cone. Come outside the cone. Get out of bed now. Get out. So stupid.
This is video of restaurant customers screaming at beachgoers who are getting too close to a monk seal. Diners scolded the group for crossing cones and barriers on Kaimana Beach. This was near the outdoor seating area of Michelle's at the Colony Surf Hotel at around 8 Sunday evening. Eventually, the group left. We reached out to DLNR for more information on the monk seal and are awaiting a response.
Well, it was generally smooth sailing for travelers this holiday weekend. There were fewer cancellations this year compared to the same time last year, with some delays here and there. But there was also a real-life case of a Kevin McAllister-like mix-up at one of the airports. CBS's Jared Hill reports.
Christmas Day at airports across the country.
Loving the holiday travel time. Yeah. Nothing you can miss about it.
Largely headache-free, but for this grandmother of a 6-year-old sent on the wrong flight alone, a nightmare.
I ran inside the plane to the flight attendant and I asked her, where's my grandson? He was handed over to you at Philadelphia. She said, no, I had no kids with me.
Instead of flying from Philadelphia to Fort Myers, he went to Orlando before making it home for Christmas. Spirit Airlines apologized to the family in a statement and said the child was always under the care and supervision of a Spirit team member. For the millions of others flying, this year was much better than last. Fewer than 200 cancellations and only about 2,000 delays for U.S.-bound trips. Still, troubles for Southwest flights in the Midwest.
We're not going nowhere. No planes going in or out.
The airline blaming dense fog in Chicago over the weekend for the hundreds of flights canceled, but full recovery expected today.
It's terrible. I'm just keep trying to keep a smile, keep a positive outlook to keep from crying.
This comes a week after the Department of Transportation fined Southwest $140 million for last year's major holiday travel disruptions. On the ground, some tricky travel with snow and ice in the Midwest and Great Plains. Jared Hill, CBS News.
The holiday season drove up U.S. retail sales for the end of the year, but at a slower pace than the same time last year. Today, MasterCard Spending Pulse reported that retail sales jumped 3.1% from November 1st to December 24th compared to the same time frame in 2022. The data came from in-store and online retail sales. The report says spending increased in many areas, with restaurants seeing a nearly 8% jump and apparel increased 2.4%. Retailers had actually projected slower growth this holiday shopping season due to higher inflation, higher borrowing costs, and the resumption of student loan repayments. Meals on Wheels lived up to its name once again, helping hundreds of people who otherwise would have spent the holiday alone. Mahealani Richardson shows us how Lanakila Pacific delivered hot food and holiday cheer.
On Christmas Day, the meal assembly line starts at 7 a.m.
You can call these volunteers Santa's elves, busy packing a Hawaiian hot meal.
Thank you, Lau Lau, man.
On the menu, hot lau lau, kalua turkey, kalopa'a, and haupia. Valaine Vasquez serves up the aloha spirit.
It's important to give back to our community and make sure that we care for our kapuna. You never know when you're going to need help, so it's always good to pay it forward. And what a better day to do it than Christmas.
875 meals are delivered island-wide from Waimanalo, Kahuku to Makaha.
My husband looked it up and thought that it would be a great idea for us to give back to the community. And so this is actually the first time that we're going to do this.
So they're going to eat good today.
I know. In our own little way, we are just wanting to, again, be part of the magic of Christmas and the aloha spirit of the islands.
Lanakila Pacific is the largest and only island-wide meal delivery service for seniors and people with disabilities.
Our meal recipients are homebound, which means that they're not really able to get to the grocery store on their own. They're not ready, they're not able to cook and prepare food. So a Meals on Wheels program is really important for people to be able to age in place in their own home.
Merry Christmas! Thank you.
June Kawamoto lives in Paoa and got a hot meal and special gift.
I'm thankful that they volunteer, because without them, there wouldn't be any meal.
Right.
Thank you for their gifts.
Merry Christmas! On Christmas Day, we really think about this as being such a social holiday. It's really important for people to have loved ones around them. And our meal recipients largely don't. So they're part of our ohana.
It's a heartwarming gift on this holiday and every day of the year.
Merry Christmas!
Mahealani Richardson, Hawaii News Now.
Oahu residents, if you're ready to put Christmas behind you, here's what you need to know about getting rid of that tree. They can be put into curbside green waste bins for pickup, but it must be cut into 3-foot sections and fit fully inside. All ornaments and tinsel must be removed, and the same rules apply if you're planning to leave it curbside, but the 3-foot sections must be bundled. You can leave the tree intact if you're planning to dispose of it in person. That can be done at most city convenience centers, the Kapa'a Transfer Station, or Hawaiian Earth Recycling in Wahiawa. And the city also asked that you put cardboard boxes and paper products in your recycling bins, but remove any lining or packaging materials along with bows and ribbons. Wrapping paper is recyclable, but not all of it.
Once you start getting into all the fancy stuff, the gloss, the metallic, the glitter, all of that just degrades the value of the paper, and so it's not recyclable.
Old electronics can also be turned in at Oahu's e-waste recycling sites. You can look for a list of locations on that at honolulu.gov.
All right, let's take a live look outside. This is beautiful Hilo on this Aloha Tuesday. The temperature there, 76 degrees. Hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. And for those of you back at work, you're hanging in there like us.
As we all are.
Okay, we're going to have a look at your island forecast after this quick break.
How's it on this Tuesday? As you can see, the weather is going to be very, very nice. We're in a clear alley of weather with some clouds coming in, a few windward and Mocha showers. That front out there might bring us a few more showers, maybe sometime between Thursday and Friday, but even that's not expected to be all that wet. So this morning, fairly dry. Even windward areas are dry. We do have some clouds passing through, but those clouds are relatively stable, not holding a lot of rain. And you can see the winds are running at moderate levels today, and the winds will be rather slow for the next several days, 10 to 15, probably all the way through Saturday, maybe even lighter on Sunday. So we've got big surf on the way, right? So that's the first alert today, is for the large surf for north and west shores, which will be building. And otherwise, we're going to get a standard textbook trade wind weather day. And what we see today will go largely unchanged for the rest of the week. Now, speaking of that surf, remember the first alert is for that north and west swell coming in today, 14 to 18 in the afternoon, 8 to 12 down on the west side, getting bigger by tonight. And then we've got more giant reinforcements coming in over the next several days. So again, first alert today is for that large surf. Otherwise, the weather's going to be very, very nice for quite a while. And if you're making New Year's Eve plans, plan on beautiful weather between New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
Thank you so much for that forecast. A new attraction on Hawaii Island is offering a bittersweet blast from the past. Our Jonathan Masaki shows us a new exhibit highlighting what life was like when Hamakua Sugar Company plantation shut down in 1994.
Everybody knew one another.
There was a time when sugar was king on the Hamakua coast, and all life centered around the Hamakua Sugar Company and plantation life.
Every Christmas, like now, had Christmas at the gym.
Walter Branco has lived in Pa'uilo his entire life and remembers holiday celebrations sponsored by the plantation.
You know, if you talk to the people, Christmas time, you know, they called certain guys, they had plays at the gym, and then they gave us candies, apples, and whatnot from the plantation.
Branco's recollection of life as he knew it is part of a new exhibit at the Honoka'a Heritage Center. There are photos and other historical artifacts like old shave ice machines, record players, lunch pails, pots and pans, all shared by those who lived or had family members who worked at Hamakua.
We've got a sewing machine, grandma's old sewing machine. We've got button collections and a baseball uniform from the 20s.
Nicole Garcia is the director of the center that organized and sponsored the exhibit. She says what makes this event so special is the spoken word shared by the old-timers like Branco, as seen by the many quotes printed out and displayed throughout the center.
People talked about all kinds of things, you know, just really growing up plantation life and what it was, the camaraderie, that having friends all surrounding them all the time, and what it was like to lose that when the plantation closed.
The plantation was like our mom, and the plantation took everybody in and took care of us.
Living in a plantation camp and living in the community was like one big family.
Many also shared what they went through when Hamakua announced it was going to shut down for good.
It was a shock. I told my wife, oh, I get the boy, he's going to go to college. The girl is over, but the boy is in high school yet. So she said, we managed.
It was difficult. Let me tell you, that was very difficult.
Perhaps the greatest takeaway from this oral history exhibit is how it showcases the resiliency of the people of Hamakua and how they never gave up.
I had a very supportive wife that would say that everything will be okay, and you just move on.
We, people of the Aina, you know, we hunt, we fish, we gather, and we did what we know how to do, which was survive and be self-sufficient. We are a team. If I could go back to plantation days, would I? In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
Those plantation days when sugar was king. Jonathan Masaki, Hawaii News Now.
New York City is prime territory for legalized casino gambling, and as you can imagine, the competition for space is fierce. Contessa Brewer has more.
At a party thrown by the world's biggest casino company,
hopes that a new year brings a new reason to celebrate.
This is a destination resort in New York. It's worth all the effort we put in, and we're very excited about it. It's a market that can't be replicated.
New York, it's the holy grail for casino expansion.
Howard Glazer spearheaded the state's efforts at legalizing casino gambling nearly a decade ago.
This may be the last greatest untapped market in the world. Estimated $5 billion in revenue, gross revenue.
Las Vegas Sands has spent years and tens of millions of dollars lobbying for a license to build a casino resort at the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island. Community support is crucial. Caesars publicizes all the businesses that back its bid, with SL Green and Jay-Z to renovate an office tower in Times Square. This year, Bally's bought Trump Links in the Bronx, betting that local leaders there will like the jobs a casino brings. MGM Resorts already operates Empire City, a racino in Yonkers, but it's proposing a world-class resort with a concert venue. And Resorts World 2 already offers slots in Queens. Luxury casino brand Wynn Resorts and real estate developer Related Company revealed a $10 billion plan for the Hudson Yards, a ritzy shopping destination in Midtown Manhattan. In Queens, Mets owner Steve Cohen has partnered with Hard Rock International, owned by the Seminole tribe in Florida, to overhaul parking lots near Citi Field into a destination casino retail development. Planned project cost? $8 billion.
Can you get a return on that investment without a casino license?
Oh, I think that's pretty challenging. I think the scope of, $8 billion cannot be justified unless you are able to maximize the amazing population.
Sands has an ambitious $6 billion commitment. It says it will build something, even if it doesn't land a gaming license. Why does that make sense for Las Vegas Sands?
It doesn't financially. We did that for a different reason. We did it because we want to show this community we're committed, short and long term.
The state is running a Hunger Games type competition, pitting the casino companies against each other to bid how much they're willing to pay in taxes. Highest bidder may just have the best shot at landing the casino license. Contessa Brewer, CNBC Business News.
In today's Good News Now, a dying man in Utah turned to a country music megastar to cross off an item from his bucket list. And this Christmas, he got exactly what he wished for. Andrew Adams has his story.
This time of year has always been awesome.
If there were any present he could receive this Christmas,
I don't want to pass away during the holidays.
It would probably be the gift of time.
Just sent me home and said, be with your family.
LeGrand Gold is dying.
About 3 weeks ago, the scan showed this cancer spreading and getting outside of my liver. And so they said the chemotherapy is not working anymore, the radiation is not working anymore.
So along with the usual holiday wishes, Gold was left to contemplate his own, his last remaining.
So, yeah, I just got 3 to check off.
The wishes on his bucket list.
And one of them was meet Dolly Parton.
Gold never thought he'd cross that one off, like he had the others.
And so the phone rang about 8:30 this morning.
Well, I'm just happy to know I've got a fan that's devoted.
When Alice answered the phone, and it was her.
Gold absolutely glowed.
Hey, LG.
Hey.
It's Dolly P.
I cannot believe this.
Dolly Parton made a house call.
Just know that I will always love you.
Oh.
Okay, well, I should have sung that, shouldn't I?
Yeah, will you?
I will always love you.
It was definitely the gift nobody expected.
Always love LG.
Yeah.
She sang a song, put my name in the song, that I feel like I'm immortal now.
And no matter how many weeks Gold has left,
cross off Dolly Parton, done deal.
He's simply grateful Dolly,
I hope all of you have as good a Christmas as you can.
found some time for him.
Yeah, that was really cool. It made me feel good.
We just love Dolly Parton.
She's the absolute best
human.
She
is. So good.
Yes. Okay, some final news for you guys. So workers at Japan's Imperial Palace in Tokyo are decorating bonsai trees ahead of New Year's. So these traditional bonsai pieces called harakazari will be placed in the palace to celebrate the new year. Plum trees featured in the work were carefully managed this year so they would blossom at the perfect time right after the scorching summer. 23 bonsai works will deck the palace from December 30th to January 4th.
And another Japanese tradition, it is time to put out your kadomatsu. We put ours out today. Thank you to Ari South. She offered some pre-sales. But if you're unfamiliar with the tradition, kadomatsu is bamboo ornaments that are usually placed by the entrance of homes and businesses. It's said to welcome in the good ancestral spirits and basically bring them in for good luck into the new year. Now, it's very important. You must burn them on either January 7th or 15th, depending on which region you are in Japan, to release the spirits. So yeah, it's always time to, get some good luck for the new year with your kadomatsu time sales, anywhere sales. Really, just got to keep a good eye out for it. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great day.